We supply who buy. Walk in your drop and take over your drop. Walk in your drop and take over your drop.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. I'm Nick, and this is Ballin in the Blitz. Tough loss yesterday, man. Tough loss. I'm gonna try to keep the podcast short today. I'm still recovering from this loss. It's just so frustrating because I'm trying to be on the side of Mitch Trubisky. I'm trying to stand up for this dude and stay positive. But when he does stuff like this, it's like all day on Twitter today, I see nothing but videos and pictures of Mitch Trubisky having people wide open, from Mitch Trubisky just not even scanning the field, making bad decisions, playing it too safe. It's like he's playing to not lose, but not playing to win. That's two different things. You got to be better than that, Mitch. I'm not trying to blame Mitch completely because altogether offense looks horrible. I mean, there's not one guy to blame here. From the offensive line, from Najee Harris even, there's multiple plays I've seen today that Najee Harris had to open right in the middle and decides to cut out right. You know, and I can't blame him because I'm pretty sure everyone's frustrated on that team because nothing is going right for them, right? I mean, even from the wide receivers, they're getting frustrated because they're open and Mitch doesn't see them. Mitch isn't scanning the field. Matt Canada calling the same plays. The same plays. Everyone is vouching for this dude to get fired right now. You are on the hot seat right now, Matt Canada. So altogether, it's the team. It's the whole team, the whole offense. They're just struggling. But yeah, man. Both teams, what we seen yesterday was just two teams struggling to find their identity. And it just wasn't happening for either one. Now, I know Patriots came out with the win, but I mean, come on now. That was just an ugly football game from both sides. I mean, at one point, Mitch Trubisky and Mac Jones were out there fighting. No, but in all reality, both teams are far from being talked about being in the playoffs. I mean, they're not in that conversation of even making it to the wild card at this point, right? It's only week 2, but at this point, that's what it looked like. Two teams that just can't find their identity. You know, but let's go ahead and just talk about this offense. Let's get it over with. Mitch Trubisky or Matt Canada, right? Who's the biggest one to blame here? Because obviously the ball is in Mitch's hand. He's the one making these plays. But then again, the plays are in Matt Canada's hand. He's the one calling the plays. He's the one telling him what to do. So it's like, who are we blaming? I mean, honestly, I feel like it's both their fault. But, I mean, who's more at blame? I see a lot of people saying it's Mitch. A lot of people are saying it's Matt Canada. I mean, but yeah, let's talk about it. Mitch is still playing with no confidence. I said this in the last podcast, and I'll continue to say this because I don't see it getting any better. After watching that game, the whole entire game, he played with no confidence. Bad decision after bad decisions. I mean, I wouldn't say he was terrible. It's just he has to play better than that. If he wants to win, he has to play better. I mean, like I said, a lot of people are pointing the finger at Matt Canada of why he's playing like this. But, I mean, come on. There's multiple times you had people open. You're not scanning the field, Mitch. And then Mitch decides to go out into the press conference and just straight up point the finger at Matt Canada. That does not make you look good, bro. Because you should be taking this in at your own fault. As the quarterback, that's their job. You have to take that blame and be like, look, it's on me and I'll play better next week. And not, oh, well, this is what he said in the press conference. Oh, well, they need to call better concepts to get these receivers downfield after being asked why he isn't using the middle of the field. Better concepts. They need to call concepts to get receivers downfield. Like receivers weren't getting downfield in that game. I've watched the plays. I've watched film. They were getting downfield. So I don't know what he's talking about. It just sounds like he just wants to blame someone else and he doesn't want to take the blame. It's just man, I don't know. I don't know what to feel about this dude. I'm trying to stick up for him, but he does stuff like this, and it's like I can't stick up for you if you're doing stuff like this. I mean, even Snoop Dogg came out and said this.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking offensive coordinator. This guy sucks. Coach Tomlin, this is Snoop Dogg, man. Fire that motherfucker and get us a real offensive coordinator.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, like I said, people are blaming Matt Canada, and some people are blaming Mitch. I think it's both. But I seen a picture, and this is what makes me say that I think a lot of it has to do with Mitch as well. I seen a picture on Next Gen Stats showing where Mitch was throwing, and it looks like he's only hit the middle of the field maybe 2 or 3 times. And those stats are telling you it's right in front of you, right? after reading the stats, after seeing that picture, I was like, okay, well, let's go look at the stats. Let's go see exactly what it is. So after reading the stats, Mitch was 21 for 33, 168 yards in that whole entire game. 1 for 4 passes were over 20 yards. Attempted only 2 10 or more yards over the middle. 2 10 or more yards over the middle. Only 2 passes. So I was right. Only 2 passes up the middle, right? 14 for 21 completions came within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now, that's one of the biggest things I've been talking about is that why are we throwing the ball on third downs behind the line of scrimmage? Why are we doing these dump plays, these little check downs? It's third down. Get that ball down the field. I don't get it. We just got to be better, man. I mean, we've gotten better on the third downs. I've seen the stats of he went 8 for 15 on third downs. Better than last game, but still, it's still not enough. Like, we need to get that ball down the field. But the most frustrating play yesterday, and there was multiple of these plays, but the most frustrating one that stood out to me, it was fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 8 in the fourth quarter, and on that play, Freiermuth is in the middle of the field, and this is what we're talking about. He's not using the middle of the field. He's not scanning the field. He's wide open. I wouldn't say wide open, but he's getting open in the middle for a first down, and he decides to check down to Najee. A check down to Najee on 3rd and 8 in the fourth quarter. You're down by 3 points. What are we doing? And if you watch the whole play, if you go back and actually watch film on that play, he doesn't take his eyes off of Najee. So the whole time he's in his head, he's throwing this check down on 3rd and 8 to Najee. He's not even going to check to see if anybody gets open past that line of scrimmage or even past the first yard or the first down mark. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's too early. But that right there, I mean, you got to do better than that. Multiple times, though, like I said, Deontay and Chase were open. On the deep ball, even Pickett, there was one I seen where Pickett was wide open on that right side of the field. Not so much wide open, but he was open enough that if Mitch would have seen it in time, he would have hit him for at least 20, 30 yards. Like, come on. I know the safety was sitting right there, but he could have hit that. Now, one of the things that makes me feel like it's also Matt Canada's fault and not so much Kenny is that there was a time in the game when Mitch had scored, when he scored with Pat Freiermuth, they were in the hurry up, in the no huddle, right? They weren't doing no huddle, and they were in the hurry up, and at that point, it's not Matt Canada calling the plays, right? It's Mitch, and it looked good. He was moving the ball quick. I liked it. The energy was good. He looked confident, but that was only for like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. But we need more of that. So that's what makes me feel like, okay, well, is it Matt Canada? Because when Matt Canada's calling the plays, it looks like almost like Mitch is just scared. And he's being told to do this and do this only. But when Matt Canada isn't calling the plays and he has to do it in the hurry up when he's in that 2-minute drill and he needs to score now, he looked good. And it was only one time in that game, but, I mean, who does that remind you of? Last year, Ben Roethlisberger, same thing. The dude was playing good when he was doing the no huddles. In the hurry up, 2-minute drill, he was scoring. He was moving the ball. But the moment we're out of that and Matt Canada's back to doing play calls, it looked bad. So that's why I say, well, maybe it is Matt Canada as well. I mean, we know it's Matt Canada too, but, I mean, who's more at fault? Why are we seeing Mitch Trubisky throwing these checkdowns on third down? On third down, we're seeing him throw multiple checkdowns and screens. And, like, we need to get it past the first down, not behind it. So it almost makes it seem like Matt Canada's telling him to do that. That's what I'm trying to get at. But, I mean, who knows? Matt Canada, he's just... I don't know what to feel about Matt Canada. It makes it seem like he's just not trying to change the way he plays. Maybe Kenny Pickett, he could play better, but I don't know how much better he can play if Matt Canada is still calling the plays, And I get it, Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett have a good relationship, but this whole thing what Matt Canada's doing, that's college ball. This don't work in the NFL. And he's not trying to change that scheme. So he's going to have to change it. He's have to go because right now he's on the hot seat. Everybody wants him out, right? So I don't know. Everyone wants Kenny Pickett out, or I mean, everybody wants Kenny Pickett to play and get in there, and everyone's pointing the finger at Mitch as well, and they're giving Mitch more of the blame. But dude, like, I'm with you. I get it. I'm watching the same game you are, but I don't know, man. Matt Canada makes it seem like it's a lot on him. Why Mitch is doing this, what he's doing. I don't know. I feel like the best way to find out is start Kenny. I do think that Kenny is going to start sooner than we think, right? I think that he's going to be in there by week 4, week 5. Maybe they might try to push it out to after the bye. And I'd rather see him sooner, but maybe week 4, week 5, we'll see him in there. And then we'll figure out for sure. Because if Kenny looks the same as Mitch, then we know for sure that it wasn't Mitch. It was Matt Canada telling him to do this, do this, do this, do this. And only this, right? But, I mean, we'll see from there. I say other than that, I don't know. There's not much more to say about the offense. I mean, we pretty much touched on everything. We have dogs as receivers, right? Deontay Johnson's a dog, right? Chase Claypool is a dog, right? The dude can get open. He's a deep threat, right? He's just that guy that can get out there, throw it up, toss it up, and he's going to get in there. He's that 50-50 ball guy. And it's just, we're not using him. And even George Pickens, let's get him involved. That dude is a dog. And you've only thrown to him, 2 or 3 times in the last 2 games? We got to get him going, man. Because he's too young and just too quick and he's just an athlete and you're not using him. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say about the offense. The defense looked good. I don't have too much to say about the defense. They only gave us 17 points. I mean, kudos to them. They did all they could. Now, yeah, I seen Witherspoon. Witherspoon did get mossed. It sucks. I'm not really bashing this dude for that. It happens, right? We have games like that. They're not perfect. He did get mossed, though. It probably would have been a different outcome if that didn't happen. We practiced this, right? They practiced this in camp. They practiced this in practice to where these 2-minute drills before the halftime, you don't let stuff like that happen. I mean, it was a 50-50 ball. The ball was placed right in the dude's hands. He was able to reach right over Witherspoon. I mean, it happens, dude. He just had a bad game. Witherspoon is one of our best corners. But yeah, man, I'm not holding that against the dude. I still think he's an elite corner. Other than that, defense, I said in the podcast going into New England that we needed to put pressure on Mac Jones. We were not able to do that. And that's part of the reason why they were able to do what they did as a run game. They did okay on the run. I'm not for sure. I don't have the stats, but I want to say they ran for a little over 100 yards between both running backs. But the biggest thing is we weren't able to get to Mac Jones. We needed to put pressure on him. And that shows you, man, that TJ, he's a threat, right? We need that guy. We are now 0-5 without TJ. So TJ's a big thing to be on the field. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about defense. I think they did good enough. Most of the time, defenses, if they only give up 17 points, that team's usually winning that game. So, they did all they could do. It's just offenses continuing to struggle. But too many mistakes at the end of the day. From Gunner's fumble on the punt return to what we were just talking about, Witherspoon and being mossed before the half. Even Cam Sutton also had a drop pick wide open, right? Straight to him and drops it. But those type of game change, those splash plays change the whole outcome of the game. That fumble, if it didn't happen, we probably would have won that. I mean, I hate to just say like, if that didn't happen, if this didn't happen, if that didn't happen, if this happened. I mean, at the end of the day, though, those things count. And a pick by Cam Sutton probably would have changed everything. And those were all in one sequence. I mean, there was even a play where Fryer moved, the ball hit him right on the top of the head. You got to catch that. That's a first down. But yeah, man, it's just too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. We just need more splash plays at the end of the day. At the same time, at least everyone in our division took a L. That helps us out a lot. We're 1-1. And Cleveland is now 0-2. The Bengals are 0-2, lost to Dallas, and then even Baltimore lost in that game, that shootout between him and Tua against Miami. So everyone lost in that division. That's a good thing. But man, to end this off, this is all I have to say is that we need more splash plays, right? We need big plays down the field. We need to stretch the field. We need to stop playing scary, okay? Like, take the risk. If you throw a pick, you throw a pick. Let's get back out there and do it again. We have dogs. Deontay Johnson is that guy that can get down the field and catch it, right? He can get open. We seen it. They were getting open. It's just, I don't know, man. I guess we have to wait till Thursday. I mean, it's on to Cleveland. We'll be there Thursday night, and hopefully we can get this dub on the road. It's a rival game. You know how that goes with Cleveland. I'll upload another video before the game. But yeah, man, let's try to improve from this week. It's just a tough loss, man. It's really frustrating. But yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to go subscribe, hit that like button. And this is Ballin in the Blitz.